Fuck off, you ugly looking piece of shit.
Here we go again. It's your More overreach than the police. Food licking. Food licking piece of shit. This is our food licking police act.
Step back. Step back. Step back. You're hurting him. You stupid piece of shit. You're hurting him.
Step back. Step back. You can record. Step back.
Don't touch me.
No. Step back. I said.
The one thing that we're going to announce this week, but we did it already, is we have filed a lawsuit against the Toronto Police Service for roughing up our cameramen, our videographers. I don't even know what the phrase is these days. But 3 of our people, Efrain Monsanto, Abdul Salam Bazirgan, and Lincoln J. Those are their legal names, as you'll see on the lawsuit. Were pushed, shoved, attempted to be tripped by Toronto police simply for doing journalism, covering, in fact, police brutality against anti-lockdown protesters. And the tip of the, and the cherry on the sundae for me was that the police said, oh, journalism is not an essential service. You have no right to be here. If you don't leave, we'll use the law against you. And then another cop said to Efron, only media like CP24 and other pro-lockdown media, he didn't say that part, are allowed to be here, not you Rebel News. So what we have here is police assaulting our reporters and plainly saying why. They don't think our reporters have civil rights. So it sounds like they need a judge to correct them. Because I want to share some vids with you. I want to share, there's so much to talk about, and I'm not even talking about going back in time for the week I wasn't doing this. There's so much just over the week, so much just yesterday, even this morning, that I want to cover. So let's just get a few more folks watching. Thank you very much for clicking like and share. And by the way, I think if you haven't done it yet, you should click that little bell, ring that bell, as they say, because I fear that you won't get notifications about our live streams if you don't. Okay, thanks for letting me say that. I mentioned the lawsuit. It's filed at the court. We have it back stamped. I'm going to show you, courtesy of Justin, video of some of the altercations that inform our lawsuit. While that video's up, I'm going to go into my email, get the lawsuit. Justin, I'm going to send it to you just to show people. This isn't the proper video. We'll have a proper video. I just feel like telling people that we did it because they were more locked down and rest of the weekend. So here's Efron and Mocha and Lincoln. And while we're showing you that, I'll get the lawsuit.
Exempt is key. You say that on camera. The media is exempt, but it's like CP24 and stuff like that, right? So
What's the difference between me and CP24?
Okay. I'm not sure. So you just got to keep moving, right? That's all you got to do.
What's the difference between me and CP24?
I'm not sure what your company is.
If you're not sure, then why are you making assumptions then?
You just got to move. Everybody's got to move. That's it.
Go ahead and go tell CP24 to go move.
You just got to move, sir. We're cautioning you right now, right? We're cautioning everybody.
Protest? Does the charter mean anything anymore? Or is it a piece of paper?
Hey, don't touch him! Do not touch him! Don't touch him! He's media. Okay. Do not touch him. Don't touch him.
Thank you.
We're on a public square, officer.
Time you allowed for Black Lives Matter protesters. You didn't break it up. You meant a knee to them, and yet.
Thank you for backing up. I appreciate your
With all due
cooperation.
respect, this is the public square.
We have
This is Toronto. This is not North Korea.
We have trespass notices under this Dundas Square.
Trespass noticing in the.
They are giving trouble to David on Dundas Square. I need this respect.
Thank you, folks. Please disperse.
Guys, you need to disperse and caution you already, right?
We're not part of the protest, officer. We realize that, but because under the emergency measures and the Civil Protections Act, because there's a remain at home order, so you're only supposed to be out here if you for exercise or if you're walking.
another, guys.
And this shows with distancing.
We asked
as well.
you already about that, right?
Well, we have a charter right officer to practice journalism, and we're on a sidewalk.
I know we're asking you is to keep the distance.
I just explained to you your caution, okay? So as I said, if you're talking about whatever media credentials or whatever that you're discussing, we understand that. That's why I cautioned you. Now, if you want to sit here and stand shoulder to shoulder, not doing anything, and not discussing whatever your work
we're
is,
discussing now.
until you
right?
came up. Like,
So then, if you refuse to go 6 feet apart, we will issue a ticket. That's all I said to you. That's all I cautioned you. Look how close we understand.
Justin, I just sent you the issued statement of claim. I sent it to you by email to your email account, and I sent it to you on WhatsApp also. So let's take a glance at it, because I promised it. Thanks. You pumped that up just a little bit more size-wise. So thank you very much for my old man eyes. I should get a checkup. Superior Court of Justice in Ontario, Abdusalem Bezirgan, nicknamed Mocha, Efrain Osvaldo Flores Monsanto, nicknamed Efron, and Lincoln J. Plaintiffs. And we're suing Toronto Police Services Board, Officer Belsahorek, Officer Wong, Officer Flippin, Officer Rossi, Officer Faisal, Officer Okutin, Officer Lee, Sergeant Ayello, Officer Nguyen, and Officer Yanakakos. I hope I'm saying those names right. I'm sure I'll get to know them quite well in the years ahead. Statement of claim to the defendants, that means the cops. A legal proceeding has been commenced against you by the plaintiff. The claim made against you is set out in the following pages. If you wish to defend this proceeding, you or an Ontario lawyer acting for you must prepare a statement of defense. Skip down. If you fail to defend this proceeding, judgment may be given against you in your absence and without further notice to you. Obviously, they're going to defend. So scroll down a little bit more. If you pay the plaintiff's claim, now this is not a big money claim. This is not about the money. I mean, we do, when someone pushes you, you are entitled to damages, and the lads are in fact claiming damages. But it's about police brutality as a phenomenon in Toronto that is being perpetually displayed, and they're not correcting it. Scroll down a little more. So the first few pages that you can see, the first 3 pages are just throat clearing. So here's the claim itself. It's under the simplified procedure. So we want this trial to move fairly quickly. The plaintiff, Mocha, Abdusalem Bezirgan, claims against the defendants jointly and severally for following: damages in the amount of 50 grand, comprised of general damages, special damages, aggravated and or punitive damages, prejudgment interest, costs, and further relief as this honorable court may deem just. Same thing with Efrain Osvaldo Flores Monsanto, otherwise known as Efron. You saw Efron talking to the cops there. He was the guy they said, oh, you're not CP24, get out. So exact same request there, 50 grand, scroll down. And Lincoln J, exact same thing, scroll down. Okay, so you can see it's not a very long lawsuit. We're already on page 5, and we've just sort of said who the parties are. Here we are. The plaintiffs are individuals residing in Ontario. They're journalists and editors of Rebel News, a federal company. At the material times, the plaintiffs were acting in their capacities as Canadian citizens and members of the public, as well as their capacities as journalists and editors with Rebel News. The defendant, the Toronto Police Services Board, is statutorily charged with and responsible in law for, among other things, appointing members of the Toronto Police Service, establishing objectives and priorities, blah, blah, blah. Point 7, the Toronto Police Services Board employed various police officers at the material time, including the ones we name, and is therefore liable for their acts and omissions. Point 8, Toronto Police is obliged by statute and otherwise by common law to provide police services in a manner that safeguards the fundamental rights guaranteed by the Charter and in a fashion that ensures that its members conduct themselves lawfully in the execution or purported execution of their duties. Point 9, the defendants, officers Belsarek and Wong, are police constables who were down there at Yonge Dundas Square on Jan 16th. Point 10, the defendants Flippin, Rossi, Faisal, Okutin were down on the 23rd, so we got 2 different dates in question. Background, anti-lockdown rallies in Toronto, downtown Toronto. In response to the COVID-19 pandemic, local, provincial, and federal authorities instituted restrictions on businesses and individuals, including mandatory business closures, social distancing requirements, mask mandates, and limits on public gatherings, large and small. The severest of these restrictions are referred to pejoratively as lockdowns. Weekly well-attended anti-lockdown rallies have been held on Saturday afternoons in downtown Toronto since the onset of these restrictions in March, April 2020, and have continued on as an ongoing basis. It goes on, and we talk about the assaults. On or about, just go up just one more line. Thanks. On or about Jan 16, Mr. Bezirgan, that's Mocha, attended the weekly Saturday anti-lockdown rally on public property near Yonge Dundas Square. As press media, Rebel News assigned Mr. Bezirgan to attend and report on the anti-lockdown protest, a matter of significant public interest. So he wasn't there for a lark and he wasn't there for a protester, but even if he was, that's his right. He was there because there's a high public interest in talking about this. While Mr. Bezirgan was filming events on public property, members of the Toronto Police, including officers Belsaharek and Wong, threatened, physically assaulted, and battered him without his consent. Okay, it goes on like this. So we describe the different assaults. We name the police. Spoliation, this is a good one. The plaintiff's estate, and the fact is that notice to the Toronto Police of anticipated litigation was delivered on or about Jan 28, wherein it was formally requested that Toronto Police preserve all evidence. The plaintiffs plead that if the said evidence has not been preserved, then it was deliberately destroyed or concealed by the defendants to effect the litigation, such that the defendants or each of them are liable for the tort of spoliation of evidence. Damages, we talked about that. Reliance on statutes, we're going to talk about the Charter of Rights, we're going to talk about Police Services Act and the Negligence Act, and there we go, there it is. That's it. That's the last, scroll down a little bit. That's the end of the lawsuit. And then this is called a backer, it's just the back page. Lists who the different parties are and whatnot. Plaintiffs, defendants, court file number. So that was filed. And I'll put that up on the internet, not right now, but in fact, you want to flip that to, I don't know, Sarah or someone. I think we can put that on Journalist Defense Fund.
Oh, hi friends. What you just saw there is a clip from our Rebel News daily live stream show. It's fun, it's fast, and it's completely unscripted, so you never really know what you're going to get. Just go to rebelnews.com/livestream to sign up for special alerts.